Hi everyone, and welcome to the weekly share and review, where this week I've had a special request to take a look at Spark Trading Company. And so we will take a look, see what that says. Before I do, just remember that this is based on my methodology. This is how I look at a market. So it's intended for educational purposes only. Certainly not recommending anything for anyone's personal situation. If you're looking for personal and financial advice, then you do need to go and talk to your own financial advisor. So let's take a look at Spark. Right, I've got Spark up here on the screen and I've got the 2-year chart showing. Last week, you can see here that we did have another sell-off last week. So Spark, when you look at the 2-year range, it's been in a downward trajectory. And in fact, the week before, there was a lot of volume. You can see by that red candle there and that sell-off. To me, that's not a good sign. Let's go and have a look over the 5-year average and just see what that says. And yeah, you can see that Spark really, it sort of hit a top around that $5.40 mark, and that was around the end of January this year. Since then, it's almost been in freefall. You've had a bit of a dead cat bounce, and that term, if you like, is where you start to see a bit of an upward recovery, and then you start to see, some sell off. Yeah, sorry, see some recovery, then you see some sell off, and in fact, it's been very, very sharp. Down through this period. Let's put a moving average on this and just have a look. And we will put a 200 period just to get an idea of the overall trend of Spark. So this is confirming what I just said. You can see that the share is trading below the 200 period moving average, and that is definitely sloping down. So for me, that is an absolute red flag. I'll just go back to the 2-year chart, and you can see that quite clearly as well on the 2-year chart. The overall trend, because where the shares are valued at and where the moving average line is, they're underneath, which is definitely a negative signal. I'm just going to change that moving average and make it a 30. And I will also put on another moving average, and this time we will make that a 15 period. There we go. So the moving averages crossed, and that is where the 15-week moving average crossed through the 30-week back in March this year. And obviously the market had been starting to sell off a little bit during that period, but you've really seen quite a steep decline since then. And from what the charts are telling me, there is absolutely no sign at this stage that there is a recovery in place. For me to want to buy a share like Spark, I would want to see the 15-week moving average through the 30-week, and the shares obviously trading above both of those moving averages, because a trend basically follows a trend. So more upward price movement will usually encourage further price increases. Trying to pick a bottom, in my view, is like trying to catch a falling knife, because shares can keep falling. There is definitely no finite figure that says where a share must end and the trend must turn around. So trends do support, obviously, the movement that they're in, and for me, Spark is showing that downward movement. Yes, at some point it will change and it will end. For me, it's certainly not at the moment. It doesn't appear that could be the case. Let's just also take these moving averages off, and we will also take a look and see how Spark compares to our main indices. And you can see here that basically Spark for the last 2 years is down about 45%, and the New Zealand market is up about 10.5%. So we're well below that, New Zealand, the main indices mark. So for me, again, I would also want to see Spark trading above the main board, because then that shows that that is one of the main contributors for driving our main board. But at the moment, Spark is actually a detractor from our main board. So that is why I also wouldn't be keen to invest in Spark at this point in time. That's not to say things won't change. They certainly could, who knows, but definitely not at this stage. So even if I go down to the bottom here, I've got the MACD on there, the moving average, convergence, divergence. That is still definitely showing downward signs. It's not showing any sign of turning at any time soon. It did get close around August this year, but since then it's been a lot of very sharp, steep sell-off. So it's certainly not something that I would be looking at this stage. So I hope that's helped. If there is any shares that you would like me to review, by all means, pop them in the comments. I reply to them all. And until next week, happy trading.